Mistakes are a part of human life. Every human makes mistakes in his life and learns from those mistakes and moves ahead. Humans are also said to be the statue of mistakes, but if we make mistakes related to money, then it is not so easy to recover. Below we have discussed some of the expensive mistakes made by humans and wasted millions of dollars for every mistake. Today we see top 10 most expensive mistakes ever. Number 10. The Titanic hits an iceberg. $175 million mistake. You are undoubtedly familiar with this infamous story of ignored warnings, dubbed the unsinkable. The RMS Titanic was the largest passenger ship in history in 1912 in a sad twist of irony. The Titanic, an iceberg in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and disproved its nickname on its very first voyage. Despite being warned of the impending danger, that crew decided to embark on the ill-fated route on April 15, 1912. The boat scraped its right side along an enormous glacier, causing the vessel to take on water and sink. The monetary loss is estimated to be around $7.5 million, about $175 million in today's currency. While this is a steep cost, that pales when compared to the loss of life. Over 1,500 people died. Number 9. A stockbroker's $225 million mistake. In December of 2005, a small mistake cost Mizuho Securities Co., a Japanese company, an enormous amount of money. One stockbroker mistyped the date he meant to offer a single share in JCOM's stock for 610,000 yen, about $5,000, on the New York Stock Exchange, but instead, he ended up offering 610,000 shares for 1 yen. Investors pounced on the opportunity, buying up a great deal of the mispriced stock. The loss was somewhat mitigated by stock exchange rules, which only allowed the stocks to be sold for as low as 572,000 yen. Still, the company lost around $225 million due to the mistake. Number 8. Apple stock's $230 million mistake. Everyone knows that hindsight is 20/20, but still, this had to sting. Steve Jobs is a household name, and most moderately tech-inclined people are familiar with Steve Wozniak, but many are unfamiliar with Apple's third founder, Ronald Wayne. Wayne drew Apple's iconic logo and served as an intermediary between the two innovative Steves. Jobs' strong personality clashed with Wayne, eventually prompting him to sell his 10% stake in the company for $800 in 1976. A decision that prevented him from becoming a multi-billionaire. Apple became worth over $2.6 trillion last month. Despite missing out on enormous earnings, Wayne said he has no regrets in leaving the company. Number 7. Lost Bitcoin $375 million mistake. James Howells is a British IT worker who made a mistake that cost him over $300 million. In 2009, Howells began using his personal laptop to mine the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Although his laptop eventually stopped working, he held onto the drive that contained his 7,500 Bitcoin, worth $375 million today. Then in 2013, he mistakenly put that drive in the bin, and it was taken out with the trash as late as 2017. Howells was still lobbying his city to allow him to search the landfill for his lost Bitcoin. Unfortunately, the drive is by now certainly buried under 6 years of waste, and according to the city, undertaking a search would cause a huge environmental impact on the surrounding area. Number 6. Russia sold Alaska $700 million mistake. In 1867, Alaska was a Russian territory that was rapidly bleeding money. Russian merchants and bureaucrats had found some early financial successes there, but demand for higher salaries among officials was making Alaska more costly than it was worth despite newly discovered gold mines. So, Russia made a deal with the United States to sell the Chile territory for just $7.2 million. Over time, Alaska would turn out to be more valuable than Russia ever could have imagined. Thanks to Alaska's rich gold and oil industries, America has made back over $700 million on the deal. That's more than 100 times what we paid for the 49th state. Number 5. Spanish submarine $2.2 billion mistake. The Isaac Perel submarine was built by the Spanish government in 2013. Engineers created a submarine that could get to the bottom of the ocean just fine. However, a miscalculation was made. The submarine was unable to resurface again. The Spanish military's new submarine has been plagued by engineering problems and cost overruns during development, and the government will end up spending millions more than it had planned for the project. The submarine engineers tried to rectify this issue by making it bigger. However, it now couldn't fit in the seaport where it was supposed to live, causing more expensive changes. All in all, it cost the Spanish government $2.2 billion. Number 4. The SNCF train $15.5 billion mistake. French company SNCF flubbed the purchase of 2000's trains in 2014. The problem, many of their platforms were too narrow to fit the new trains. The mistake cost around 50 million euros, a steep cost to incur on top of the 15 billion euros they had just paid to purchase the trains. The error occurred when the operator neglected to factor in measurements of train platforms that had been built more than 50 years ago. The process of expanding the 1,300 platforms to accommodate their corresponding trains took 2 years, and a process that was equally expensive and time-consuming as it was embarrassing. Number 3. The Dubai Aquarium leaked $20 billion mistake. Dubai is one of the most luxury cities in the world. Dubai Mall, one of the world's largest shopping centers and a symbol of Dubai's grandeur, was partly closed on 2010 after an aquarium containing thousands of fish and sea animals started leaking, police and witnesses said. One of the largest tanks in the world. The aquarium features the world's largest viewing panel at 32.8 meters wide and 8.3 meters high. It was designed to hold more than 33,000 living animals, representing more than 85 species including over 400 sharks and rays combined, according to Dubai Mall's website. Luckily, the leak was recognized in time, and all of the animals inside the aquarium survived. However, in order to fix the leak without disturbing the hundreds of huge sharks and highly exotic creatures inside, nearly $20 billion was spent. Number 2. Deepwater Horizon oil rig explosion $65 billion mistake. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico is considered the worst oil spill in history. 210 million gallons of oil were spilled following an explosion on the drilling rig. Oil threatened marine and wildlife habitats from Louisiana to Florida, and the spill continued for months as workers attempted time and again to stop the flow of oil. Ultimately, an investigation revealed that BP, the British company responsible for the Deepwater Horizon rigger, had cut corners on safety with disastrous effects. Cutting corners turned out to be very costly for BP. Cleaning up after the disaster and paying associated fines and legal fees has stuck the company with a $65 billion bill. Number 1. The Apollo 13 space mission $283 billion mistake. Apollo 13 was launched from Cape Kennedy, Florida, by a giant Saturn V launch vehicle and only minutes later was inserted into orbit around Earth. An engineering fault in the Apollo 13 caused 2 oxygen tanks to give out. All of the oxygen had depleted within 3 hours. Luckily, no astronauts were lost. However, the mission was forced to return to Earth earlier than intended and did not achieve any of the mission's aims. It is estimated this cost the U.S. government $283 billion. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more Top 10s videos. See you in next video. Have a nice day.